All right, let's talk about a word that usually makes economists break out in a cold sweat. Deflation. Yeah, we're all taught to be pretty scared of it. But what if there's a completely different side to that story?
Seriously, think about that for a moment. What if falling prices were actually a good thing? I know. We're conditioned to think of inflation as, just part of the deal. And deflation? That's a total disaster, right? Well, as we're about to see, that might be only half the picture. Because look, the story we're always told is that falling prices, they're a sign of disaster, a signal of economic collapse. But the source we're digging into today, it tells a very different story. It suggests that under the right conditions, falling prices can actually be a sign of amazing progress.
Okay, so first things first. Let's start with what we all think we know. Why exactly does deflation have such a terrible reputation?
I mean, this quote from the source material just nails it, right? Deflation has a bad reputation. It's like the default setting for any economic conversation. The word itself just feels like a giant warning sign.
And hey, let's be fair. Those fears, they're not totally baseless. We're talking about things like recession, unemployment, debts getting harder to pay off. That's real stuff. But, and this is the absolute key to everything we're talking about today, that fear applies to a specific type of deflation, the kind caused by demand collapsing. Turns out, that's not the only kind there is.
And that brings us to the heart of this whole thing. It's time to introduce a brand new character to the story. Let's meet good deflation.
So what is it? Well, this is the big idea. Good deflation is when prices fall not because no one's buying stuff, but because we get so ridiculously good and efficient at making things. Think explosive productivity, new technology, wild innovation, all making things so much cheaper that prices can't help but go down. It's a sign of abundance, not a sign of scarcity.
And you can see the difference laid out so clearly here. Bad deflation, the one we all know and fear, is caused by collapsing demand. It's a symptom of economic decay. But good deflation? That's caused by explosive productivity. It's a sign of economic optimization. It means we're getting way more bang for our buck, more from less.
This quote really drives it home. It is not contraction, it is efficiency. This isn't about the economic pie shrinking. It's about the pie staying the same size, or even growing, but us getting way, way better at slicing it. It's the economy getting smarter, leaner, and healthier.
Okay, so at this point you're probably thinking, if this good deflation is so amazing, why aren't we all living in this utopia? Great question. Well, it turns out there's a huge roadblock, something hardwired into our financial system. Let's call it the debt trap.
See, pretty much our entire modern financial world is built on one simple assumption: a little bit of inflation every year, right? Just think about taking out a big loan, like a mortgage. You kind of assume that over 30 years, your salary will go up, and that fixed monthly payment will start to feel smaller and smaller in comparison. Inflation helps you out. But what happens in a world of good deflation? Well, technology drives prices down, which means companies' revenues in dollar terms might go down, and your salary in dollar terms might stay flat. But guess what doesn't change? Your loan payment. That number is fixed. Suddenly, that debt doesn't feel lighter over time, it feels heavier. And that, right there, is the squeeze.
But it's not just about big corporations and mortgages. This whole idea totally flips the script on a personal level, too. It completely rewires how we think about saving and spending our own money.
Right now, we live with an inflationary mindset. Your cash is like a melting ice cube. It's losing value every single day. So what do? You spend it, you invest it, you do something with it before it disappears. But in a deflationary mindset, everything changes. A dollar you save today might actually buy more stuff tomorrow. Saving isn't a punishment anymore. Waiting to buy something doesn't feel like a loss. It feels like a strategic advantage.
Okay, now this ties into some really fascinating research on human well-being. You might have heard of the study by Kahneman and Deaton. They basically found that after a certain point, more money doesn't really make you any happier day to day. That well-being plateau is somewhere around 110 to 120 grand a year in today's dollars. Now, why is that relevant here?
Because good deflation could be a shortcut to getting more people to that point. If technology makes the basics, your housing, your food, your energy, radically cheaper, then you don't need a constantly growing salary to feel secure and comfortable. It essentially locks in a higher standard of living for everyone. It's a way to achieve that material comfort without being on a treadmill of needing more and more money every single year. All right, I get it. This might all be sounding a bit theoretical. A nice idea, but does it work in the real world?
Absolutely. And we have powerful examples to prove it, both from history and from things happening right now.
Let's travel back in time to the late 1800s. Between 1873 and 1896, both the US and the UK saw prices fall consistently, by about 1 to 2% a year. Now, textbook economics would call that a disaster. But was it? Not at all. During that exact same time, the real economy, real GDP, was growing at a super healthy 2 to 3% annually. Why? Because it was a period of insane technological progress. Railroads, industrialization, electricity. This wasn't bad deflation, this was good deflation in action. The economy was booming, and people's money was going further.
And you don't even have to go back that far. We see little pockets of this everywhere today, especially in tech. Just think about it. The cost to store your photos and files. It's fallen by over 99.99%. It's basically free now. Or look at the cost of sequencing a human genome. Or solar panels. Or the big one right now, AI. The cost to run these powerful models is plummeting. These aren't just weird one-offs. They're glimpses of what this kind of productivity-driven price drop looks like.
And this all leads us to the big, powerful takeaway from the source material. This one sentence just flips the entire script. When technology makes things cheaper, faster than demand can keep up, deflation is not the enemy of prosperity. It is one of its clearest signals. Wow. So deflation isn't the sickness, it's a symptom. It's a signal that we're actually winning, that technology is creating an economy of incredible abundance.
So, the final question I'll leave you with is this. Are we actually ready for an economy of abundance? You know, our entire way of thinking, our financial systems, our institutions, they were all designed for a world of scarcity, for a world where things are hard to get. But what happens when technology starts to deliver a world where things are easy to get, a world of plenty? Are we ready for what that means?